both Christians in a world that is not all Christian. I think it's fair to say you are who you spend your time with.
Well, so we met at Mojo's Tacos in downtown Franklin. I went with my best friend and a few of my other friends, and then he came along with his friend. And then we kind of saw each other a couple more times, at church through group, the next Sunday, and then Thursday again, stuff like that.
We were in this big group chat, and I said, hey, which one of these is you? I was like, oh, she's my type of weird, in the best way.
I know that.
Wait, Caleb.
From the first date, we sat down at dinner, and right before we had food, we kind of looked at each other, and I was like, hey, you want to pray? And she kind of gave me a nod. I said, okay. And so we prayed together, and I think it was a really simple prayer at the time. Just said, hey, God, I'm having a really great time tonight, but I give this time and I give, what we've got to you. And I think in a way that kind of took the pressure off of it. Cause when you first meet someone, you kind of have that oh, they're so great and I'd love to date them. But at the same time, you're kind of getting to know them. And there's always that little anxiety, oh, what if this doesn't work out? So I think it really brought peace from chapter 1 of, hey, we'll give it to God. If it's meant to work out, it'll work out,
For me, personally, I would say, I know I keep going back to this, but I don't know, I watched my parents and I've had grandparents that have gone through divorce, and I don't have a lot of people in my family that are married or married successfully, or maybe kind of in really rough relationships, and it's just kind of not, it's not really evident in my family, and so I've just kind of wanted, ever since I was younger, because my parents divorced when I was young, and I just kind of have been motivated to have a marriage/relationship that is kind of a cycle-breaking relationship.
Yeah, one lap around the kitchen. That's your qualifying for the.
I'm not gonna drop you. If you fall, there's something else. No, you're doing way better than I did. She got the turn. I think relating to Easter, the story of Mary and Joseph with Jesus, God gave them a lot of unforeseen challenges in a circumstance that, from their perspective, seemed impossible. It seemed against normal times. I think it's fair to say Joseph was even kind of freaking out, and he's like, I'm not sure, but he went to God in a time of trial and tribulation, and God was very straightforward. He said, love Mary for the woman she is and support her through this, and I will provide for you. And I thank God, we've had a very smooth sailing thus far, but the world we live in, I think both know going into this that not every day is going to be perfect, but if we can continue to trust in God through those storms, then he'll provide.
Oh no.